All right, guys. So I am the Bitcoin guy. You may have this person in your life. They may be telling you about Bitcoin, cryptocurrency. I'm also that guy. I'm the computer guy. I'm the Spider-Man guy. I'm the Star Wars guy. And I'm the anime guy in my group. So my group of friends, my people that are in my life, my friends and family, I'm always talking to them about one of these topics. And if you know me in real life and you've had a personal conversation with me, I probably talked to you about cryptocurrency or Bitcoin at some time. So, YouTube, it's your turn to get this information. So, Bitcoin, how can I explain it as if I was explaining it to somebody for the first time and very simply? I would say that Bitcoin is a digital money, it's computer created money. The reason why it has value is because it uses electricity to create different stamps on this thing called a blockchain, and that keeps all the information on Bitcoin on the chain on the internet forever. Everybody can see it. Nobody can see your personal address or like your wallet where you actually keep your Bitcoin, but it's just a way that nobody can get cheated. Nobody can scam you uh, or take your money away from you forcefully, or even if they try to bribe you, it'll be really hard to do it because Bitcoin is built on a cryptocurrency, cryptographic, encrypted network that is really hard to hack. And the reason why I'm starting to invest into Bitcoin is because I want to keep my money. I just started doing research and I started realizing that dollars are not it. Euros are not it. Whatever they got in Africa is not it. Canadian dollars, Australian dollars, Chinese money, Japanese yen, all that stuff is counterfeit. Because what's stopping the government or anybody from printing more? See, when I was a kid, when you're a kid, you kind of think like, why can't you just print more money? You know, because if you print money, then they'll raise prices. Well, why can't they just not raise the price? Why can't they provide more value? That's what we need to start doing as a society is providing value. The more value that we provide, then the more money that we will make. But we can't do it if we have a faulty money system. Because if I do provide value and I provide like the cure to cancer or something, but then it costs, you know, let's just say it cost $1,000 this year, but then 20 years down the line it costs $100,000. It's because more of the dollars are being printed and it's making their value go less. And also it's the fact that like companies and organizations, government organizations, or all kinds of organizations that run the world, sorry, I'm a little shaky on you guys, but they'll purposely make things worse to make more money. For instance, like a light bulb. Back in the day, there was people who created the light bulb, and then eventually, it got better and better. The first person, Thomas Edison, created the light bulb, and then it got better and better. And then eventually, it got to a point where light bulbs could last like 100 years, 200 years. Like they calculated it up and seen, okay, if it does this for this amount of time, it should last for blah blah blah. They figured out that it would last 100 years, and so basically, people didn't have to buy light bulbs no more. So the light bulb company was losing money. So instead of trying to find new ways to create value around their company or keep their customers loyal or provide even, you know, better value for, what they have, they created a worse product. And that's kind of like what I feel like happens with the dollar. It's like instead of providing more value or keeping the value the same so that value, the as value goes up, the dollar rises as well. But the government is in debt, the citizens are in debt, people are borrowing money and not paying it back. So then the government will print more money, and this just is just a circle of horrible financial decisions. And then it leaves us stuck in the middle. Another thing that I think about with this whole thing is housing. You can have like say the housing market is super high right now, like nobody can buy a house. So all the rich people own all the houses, right? They're not allowing like people who don't have as much income to buy the house. But you know what they're doing? Nobody's living in that house. They're keeping that house as an asset to hold their money's value. So they don't like their dollars, so they trade it for the house, right? But what happens is that, like I said, nobody can live in that house. The house is just sitting. And so, yes, the house has value. Somebody could live in it, but nobody's living in it because it's too expensive. So what happens? The market goes down. Some of those people sell. Then the thing is, basic, like, I don't want to say basic, but regular people, people who are struggling, people who are living paycheck to paycheck, they're gonna still think that that house is too expensive, or they're not gonna think that it's even worth it to buy the house because it's lower. When people see prices go down, they think it's a bad thing, but it's really a good thing. So then the rich people come in and they buy more houses. So I think, well, with Bitcoin, if we all just use Bitcoin, a Bitcoin's a Bitcoin's a Bitcoin. Like, a Bitcoin is 1 million Satoshis, just like how a dollar is 1 million pennies. You can break down a Bitcoin into 1 million parts called a Satoshi. My phone's ringing right now, but I'm gonna focus on this video. But yeah, you can break a Bitcoin down into 100 million units called a Satoshi. And a Bitcoin's a Bitcoin. So it's like when you use dollars, you don't know exactly what you're getting because, like I said, the price goes down or the value goes down with the dollar. So you don't know exactly if you're going to be able to buy the same house in the next 5 years, or less than that house, half that house in the next 5 to 10 years. But Bitcoin, the only thing it'll do is go up because it's also a limited amount of Bitcoin. It's 21 million. That's why I've been stressing, like, dollars you can print more. Bitcoin, it's only 21 million. So there's no way to make any more Bitcoin. Yes, you could split it up with the sats and have 100 million sats. So, like, but basically the sat price, the Bitcoin price is based on whatever price the sats are. So say, for instance, Bitcoin goes to $1 million. That means every sat would be 1 cent. Or like if Bitcoin goes to $100 million, every satoshi will be $1. So, like I said, if we all based all of the finances and the value on Bitcoin, then everything would be based on Bitcoin. We don't have to be like, oh, how do I convert? If I want to buy a car, how do I convert that into dollars into Bitcoin? It won't be like that. It'll just be, what is it in Bitcoin cost? And you don't have to think about what it is in dollars and all of that and things like that. I think that's another step or another reason why people don't want to get Bitcoins, because they just don't understand it. They just don't understand it. It took me a while. I knew about Bitcoin in 2017. I even had some bought, a few hundred, here and there. But I sold it because I didn't understand Bitcoin. I didn't understand how could something that's digital, that you can't even see, touch, or hold, be valuable. But, like, how is this valuable? Let me get it real quick. How is this valuable? Like, what is this really doing for me? What are those pesos? What are those dollars doing for me? Because, hold up. Sorry, you guys. This is a really choppy video. But what are those pesos really doing for me? It's just a piece of plastic. It's just a piece of paper. I mean, I guess I could wipe my butt with it. I can blow my nose with it. Besides it being paper, I could use it to, like, put it under a table. You know how you fold a table and you make it stop wobbling? I could do something like that. But besides that, what is this paper doing for me? At least gold, at least you can use it in electronics, at least you can use it in medical instruments. But besides that, people want to put value on physical things because you can do things with physical things. But not everybody's interpretation of what is valuable is that. Like, some people don't want to have kids. They don't see the value in it, or they see a bigger value in just spending time with themselves or building themselves up, or just anything really, anything that you can think of. Anybody can put a percentage or a idea on that thing, but that doesn't mean that that thing is that thing. A lot of everything is subjective, really. There are, what am I trying to say? Like, there is objective reality. However, we're using subjective reality to try to define reality. Like, you're using subjective things like liking something, value, um, pretty much how much does it mean to you or how much you're going to use it, to attribute to physical things. Like I said, if there's a house but nobody's living in it, Why is it valuable? What's the value of that thing? Somebody could possibly live in it in 100 years, maybe when the Earth or when humans are no longer here in this freaking Armageddon, and you know you can just move into the house. But currently, that house is just a sitting duck. It's not doing anything. It's like when you are at the restaurant and they cooking food, and at the end of the day they have to throw all that food away. Why? You know what I'm saying? It's like we could repurpose that, and I feel like with Bitcoin we will find more energy efficient ways to move value and money around. Like for instance, um, they say Bitcoin costs a lot to create because it uses electricity. But what Bitcoin is gonna do, it's gonna make people think outside the box. It's gonna make people be like, maybe I can use solar power energy, or this process that I'm already doing. Like, I don't know, say that you're an oil person and you dig oil from the ground. Maybe there's methane gas that comes from the ground. Maybe you can transform that methane gas into some type of electricity, use that to power the Bitcoin computers, right? So there's always ways to continue to make the value go, especially if we have an end line. Like there's just no bottom line with a dollar. The dollar is infinite, and it's like the dollar's potential to be printed is infinite, and so its value is infinitely less, right? So Bitcoin's value, the fact that it is only 21 million and it actually has to use energy and it's time stamped on the blockchain network, which is just the internet and anybody can see it with a computer, that's way more valuable because it's a definite answer. There's like yes or no. Like, you know how people be giving like maybe answers or like, I'm not sure. That's what the dollar is. The dollar is like, I'm not sure what I want to be today. Bitcoin's like, I'm Bitcoin and I'm going up. There's going to be less of me over time, and people are going to have to, divide it amongst themselves. People are going to have to wake up, or, eventually might be just working for Bitcoin. But basically, it's like, that's it. Bitcoin's a Bitcoin. There's no like, I don't know if I want to be a big dollar today or a small dollar. It's like, nah, dude, because there's nothing that backs it. There's no foundation. There's no endpoint and there's no foundation. But Bitcoin is the endpoint and the foundation. It's the thing that you can stand on. It's the principle that you can stand on and it can grow. That's the beauty of it. The dollar, it's like trying to walk on a glass bridge and it already has cracks in it and it's been glued together back to back 100 times. Like I don't know if I'm gonna trust that. I'm not gonna trust that bridge to support my weight and my family and my future generation. Imagine you had to take your family and your wife, your kids, your future generation on this glass bridge. Would you be confident in that? That's why I'm not confident in the dollar. But Bitcoin is. Imagine you had a bridge that's made of gold. I'm pretty sure you'll walk across that because gold is durable. It's not gonna give way under weight. Uh, it's stable. So that's why gold was used for a long time. And I'm not saying to not use gold, but even gold, we only use it as a store of value because that's all they had. It's like if computers existed since forever, I'm pretty sure even ancient people, if we had money, they would have made a better way that we trade and transact money. Why, when I go to the bank, or why, when I go to the store and I buy something, my bank has to process? Process what? Just take the money. Just take the money. Bitcoin, it just takes the money and make sure that there's no double spending. There's no way that you can double spend your Bitcoin. You send it, you wait a little bit, and it's in the other account. It's in the other wallet. So there's no way to be like, oh yeah, oh my account's in the negative. How'd you even get there? Like how can you be in the negative? Why would the bank let you be in the negative? That doesn't even make sense. It always made me so mad whenever I seen that. Like, but I just feel like, yeah, it's gonna be a big change, and people with society probably not gonna be ready for it. Like, if we just snap tomorrow and tomorrow Bitcoin was a thing, society not gonna be ready. And there's a lot of greedy people and a lot of governments and a lot of people in power that don't want it to be like that just yet. However, uh, dang, what was I going? I was just saying that it's just gonna take time for people to get used. Dang, where was I going with it? I'm sorry, y'all. I lost my train of thought. But yeah, basically, we we'll get used to using Bitcoin because it has a definite end. Like the end is success. The end that is that it's gonna go up. There's really no way for it to go down. There's no way to double spend it. But the dollar, you can do all that. The yen, the I actually don't know how stuff works in other countries. All I know is America. All I know is where I'm from, and this is how it works over here. And yeah, you guys, I just think that that's pretty lame. It's just whack that they got us in this system. You know, we go to our job. We think that that job or whatever we try to provide in society will help us to sustain ourselves, but people are living paycheck to paycheck. They're not knowing how they're going to eat. Prices are going up. People losing jobs. And I know there's a lot of political stuff that people will bring up in this, but at the end, oh yeah, I think I was talking about society. If we had a society that had computers from way back in the day, like imagine if they made the perfect currency. Bitcoin would be it. Bitcoin would be it because, well, at least as far as we know, like it's the best currency we've had so far. Like you could use gold, but like I say, if you break it down to like a smaller level, like how, like I can break it down to this tooth, right? Right, this tooth is made of gold, but like how much does this actually weigh? Like how much is this actually worth to somebody else? Like if I just gave you my like gold tooth out of my mouth, like how many people are really gonna take that? Like even if I tell you like, hey, this gold tooth is worth $80, so you can give me this Nintendo Switch game, or you can give me this Popeye chicken. People ain't gonna go for that. They gonna, and especially like, you know how plugs or dealers, I'm just gonna say it like that, they carry around scales. Everybody would have to carry around a scale. With Bitcoin, all you have to do is just carry around your phone. Everybody has a phone. Eventually, we'll just have like watches and freaking smart glasses, and you just look at whatever you want, you just buy it, and you just, I don't know, you blink and then you'll purchase it with your glasses. My point is that Bitcoin is everywhere. It's non-stopping. It's always gonna keep going. You can bring it anywhere with you. You don't have to physically haul it with you like gold or silver or even these paper money. This dollars and pesos and stuff like that. Like, what am I looking like carrying a briefcase with $100,000? Heck nah, bro. That $100,000 is in my brain. It's on the internet, and I can get it through a certain key phrases and passphrases, and then I can get my money and move it somewhere else digitally. I don't ever have to look at it. I think people are looking at all the different benefits that we have with housing and gold and other assets and don't realize that it's a feature. It's a feature that you could live in the house. It's a bonus that you get to live in the house. It's not the main point of the house though. Like the point of the house is to live in it. It's not to use it to hoard your dollars, to hoard your wealth. And that's what rich people do. They put their money into housing, and that's why they even put it into companies like stocks. Companies are just getting money through the stocks off of a promise for a return. But if there was really no, if you're looking at the return in forms of dollars, but if the company actually provided value to the customers, I think that would be better. And it's like not everybody would be chasing just trying to get more dollars, more dollars, more dollars because eventually you realize if you have enough Bitcoin, you have enough. You don't need as much as you think because as the value goes up, it's just like you keep your money and the value goes up with how you live. You know what I'm saying? If you keep your money and if you just save it, it's good to save it. It's good to have cash, but at the same time, again, your dollars are just getting more worthless over time. So it just makes more sense to have an asset that holds its value, that can be traded between people easily. There's no third party. You can't double spend it. It's public to a degree, so you can see all the Bitcoin that's ever been created, that has ever been sent. You have private keys. It's pretty much damn near unhackable. You can't get robbed with your Bitcoin unless you're just keeping your key phrases all over the place and you just have your wallet out and about. But if you do just the basic minimum precautions with Bitcoin, you're gonna have a way harder time to get for like if somebody wanted to rob you for your Bitcoin than like your gold or your cash. Keeping your cash under a mattress, that is not ideal. If you had $1 million under your mattress, like, dude, nah, man, the house could burn up. That's another thing. Houses can burn up. Gold can get lost. Bitcoin can get lost too, but you have to like try to lose Bitcoin, or like not try, but you have to do like a rookie mistake. Gold, it's like I almost dropped. You don't know how many times I almost dropped these gold fangs on the ground, or like just somewhere. I almost dropped it at the beach. A lot of places, but yeah, just really, Bitcoin is the future. I'm not a financial advisor, but I would tell you guys to look into it. I'll see you guys later. Peace.